Yo, what's up? Okay, so this is another video. I'm gonna react to Danny Gonzalez. I tried ghost hunting to see if it's fake. It's pretty good, YouTuber. Big following, Maybe I could get a big following, Subscribe, come on, comment, like, subscribe. Anyway, we're gonna watch this video, see what's up. Let's see.
This is me standing in front of what's widely considered to be the most haunted hotel in the US, the Stanley Hotel. Every ghost hunting program that comes here somehow has this insane, traumatic, life-altering experience after staying here for just one night. And I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm gonna try to spend a night here hunting ghosts because I have one simple question. Is every ghost show and paranormal YouTuber over-exaggerating? Or is it just Shane Dawson? Because I know that Shane Dawson is. These shows are quite literally designed to scare you. They go in with a preconceived notion that well, we've got to make an entertaining show, and we're only here for one night, so we got to come up with something scary. So they add in scary music over every scene, scary sound effects, they dress all cool, and I'm pretty sure they just make stuff up too. And after filming this video and talking to the hotel staff, I have a lot of evidence. I just feel like as a viewer, we never get to actually see what the experience is like staying at one of these haunted locations. What's it like when a regular person that's not trying to make a scary video stays here? Are you actually guaranteed a spooky night of being tossed around the room by some guy that died 100 years ago? Or is it all fake? That's somebody trying to back out of the... They got scared. They felt a presence and they're trying to leave. The vibe's off. We gotta get out of here. The Stanley. The Stanley Hotel is probably most known for being so scary that apparently just one stay here inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. And I'll tell you the story of how that happened later, but ever since The Shining came out, this hotel has been the subject of countless ghost stories and paranormal investigations. Most of which exclusively depict this place as this decrepit, creepy old hotel that only exists at night. But this place is actually like a beautiful hotel. It felt less like a portal to hell and more like a tourist attraction. When I got there were people milling around, taking pictures. The hotel was like blaring music. If I was a ghost, I would have been pissed. I can't haunt this place. It's too nice out. Nobody's even gonna be scared of me. There are a ton of different ghosts that haunt this hotel. I think every article I read and every person I talked to at this hotel somehow knew about a different ghost that I hadn't heard of yet. It's like anyone who's ever so much as even looked at this building gets sent here when they die. I'm worried I'm gonna haunt this place when I die. There's the ghost of a housekeeper that was in an explosion at the hotel and still sticks around to fulfill her maidly duties. A cowboy ghost that supposedly kisses women in their sleep. And a lot more ghosts, many of which are tied to specific rooms, like my room, the Haberdasher Suite. Because my room is haunted by a haberdasher. If you don't know what a haberdasher is, it is someone who haberdashes, which apparently is old-timey speak for sells clothes to men. It's just a men's clothes dealer. Okay, I'm about to enter the room for the first time. Supposedly one of the many haunted rooms in this hotel. I've heard that when stepping into a haunted space for the first time, you can immediately notice a different energy. Wow.
Let's see what's up. Let's see different energy. Entertainment. If y'all don't know, this is what he just said. It's all entertainment. Like wrestling, like Ninja Warrior, which go watch that. Freaking, I tell you that they some fit people. I can't do none of what the freak they do. Sheesh.
I walked all around this room, looked in every nook and cranny, and I gotta say, I did not really feel anything. It's a good sign. There is a fly flying around. I don't know if you can see that. I keep seeing it smack into the window. He's trying to get out of here. He's scared. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say my spook level was hovering about a 1.1 on the spook meter. On the spookometer. Bible. You know what, I feel like hotels like this often, because they're haunted, can get a pass if anything about their room is shitty, because they can either be like, well, the ghost did that, Sorry, your bed's fucked up. The ghost did that. Or just like people who are coming for like a haunted experience aren't looking for like the nice amenities of a hotel. They're not focused on the backsplash of the bathroom sink. They're focused on like, am I gonna start floating in the middle of the night? So, you know, I feel like we should be fair and actually do a review of this hotel room from a non-paranormal perspective. When you stay in the Haberdasher suite, you'll feel like you were transported back to the early 1900s. And not just because there's a man trying to sell you a bowler hat in the corner. I'm talking solid wooden doors, no central AC, which according to an email was to preserve the historic feel of the room. A giant AC unit by the window, which does the exact opposite. I also liked the fun historic pics of the hotel. Oh, that's the hotel in the background. That's tight. I thought this lady was holding a gun at first. That's why the hotel's haunted. This is moments before the first ghosts entered the hotel. This couple's just laughing, having a good time. This lady's like, yo, get a picture of this. In keeping with the theme of not keeping with a theme, the bathroom also felt very out of place. This is actually a very nice shower. Some nice artwork over here. This is beautiful. Their bathroom had this like newly renovated farmhouse aesthetic, like something straight out of an episode of Fixer Upper. 0 out of 10, not historic, and too nice to be haunted. Seriously, when it started to get dark out, the only place I felt like I wouldn't get haunted was in the bathroom. I'd be peeing and the haberdasher would just be...
Never mind, is it?
standing outside the door like, come out here. I can't haunt you in there. It's too nice. Come out here where it's old and creepy. Please. I want to sell you a hat. Okay, this curtain has a stain on it. Something was up with the bed, too. Do my feet look higher than the rest of my body? All right, I'm settled into my hotel room. I'm chilling. I went to the hotel restaurant and ate some dinner. The view was beautiful and the food was just okay. And my spookometer is still going strong at a 1. Now, you're probably wondering what I mean when I say that all of the shows that film here are over-exaggerated. Unless you've watched one of these shows before, in which case you're not. You already 100% know what I'm talking about. Well, let's take a look at Ghost Adventures, which is hosted by what I like to call the Chris Angel of paranormal investigation, Zach Baggins.
This is a genuine, authentic haunt. The second I got my key and I shut the door, I pretty much said, all right, listen, I'm gonna have to get naked a couple times to take a shower. Sometimes in the middle of the night I get up to get water, and I can't guarantee that I'm wearing everything.
Oh no. Oh shoot. Is that something I should have done when I got here? Attention, all ghosts in this room. You are gonna see my dick.
From early childhood, I used to hang out around here. I've had 2 heart transplants, so every anniversary of one of my heart transplants, my parents would give me a weekend up here. I've had a lot of near-death experiences.
Wait, their gift to their son with severe heart problems was a trip to the scariest place in the country? Dude, I don't mean to pry, but your parents were 100% trying to kill you.
Our investigation will take us into 3 of the buildings that comprise the Stanley Complex.
The sound effects in this show are insane. They're designed to make you scared before anything scary even happens. I feel like I'm being shot in the chest every time they switch shots in this sequence.
The main hotel,
Whoa.
the manor house, and the carriage house.
Oh, fuck!
At 3 a.m., I was woken up by an unexplained noise, and shortly after that, my digital recorder captured an EVP. Shut the door.
Stuff like this is pretty hard to dispute because it's impossible to tell if this is staged or not, or if this is just like static that happens to somewhat resemble a human voice. Without the text on screen, it kind of doesn't even sound like a voice. Like, let me play a different one, for example, and you try to tell me what you think it says. And here's what it says. Did you get it? No? I knew you did.
Sounds like somebody's picking up trash. Not anybody talking.
Have what it takes to join the Ghost Adventures. Get out of my hotel room. And then we get to Shane Dawson.
I think they tried to decorate for Christmas, but it is scary. Why are all these chairs so scary?
Watching Shane Dawson investigate the paranormal.
Because they set it up that way, on purpose. When you want it to look scary, you set it up scary. No shit.
It's like watching a wounded deer try to investigate a theme park. It doesn't matter what happens, he's going to be terrified.
Oh my god. Please help me with this.
Just unlocking the door to his room is almost enough to send Shane packing. This is creepy as fuck. It is a very normal hotel room.
Okay, can I just say something? And you're gonna think I'm being dramatic. My camera has been fine focusing this whole day. The second we got into this hotel, it stops fucking focusing every second.
I don't know if you guys know this, but cameras have a harder time focusing in dimly lit environments. That's like a well-known thing about cameras. It's pretty funny to try to pin that on a ghost.
It's not focusing on anything.
Yeah, you guys turned off all the lights. What is there to focus on? He's like panning around really fast and like getting really close to things in the dark. Like, I'm sorry, dude, the darkness is usually way crisper on this camera. But I think my favorite part about this is when Shane pauses the video and edits in text to point out something that he didn't notice while filming. I've shown this to so many people. Did you guys see anything? What did he think was there? I'm so confused. He didn't have to edit that in. It might be nothing? Yeah, no, it definitely was nothing. Throughout this video, Shane adds in sound effects that are designed to make his terrified reaction seem a little more justified.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
He'll hear like a tiny bump noise that came from outside and then add in like the loudest horror sound effect you've ever heard. Here's the actual sound effect, and then here's how scared that made me.
Oh my god!
Okay guys, I have a confession to make. I know I talked a really big game about all the ghosts that have been spotted in this hotel, and as I was doing some research in my room, I started to realize that a lot of these stories might also be over-exaggerated a little bit. I know, apparently it's not just the ghost hunter shows that are doing it. Perhaps the hotel also has something to gain by playing up how haunted they are.
1911, maids up here on lighting acetylene gas lamps. There's a gas leak. This room blows up. The maid's name was Mrs. Wilson. Let's believe that Mrs. Wilson is still with us in the hotel here. We've had guests walk into the bathroom. The light will turn on. Their clothes are put away in the dresser drawers and their bags are stacked in the closet.
I have a couple questions about this story, because the way he tells it in this show makes it sound like the housekeeper is haunting the hotel because she died in this explosion at the hotel. She didn't. She didn't die. I looked it up. There's articles about this story. This happened in 1911. A housekeeper accidentally blew up like half the hotel. She sustained injuries. She broke both of her ankles. And then she died. In 1950. She lived for 40 years after this explosion. Honestly, even if she is haunting the hotel, like if she died here in 1950, that's her own business. The hotel doesn't need to go around spreading this story about her fucking up and blowing up the hotel. That seems a little bit petty, doesn't it? The interesting thing about the housekeeper ghost is that it's said that most of what she does to haunt the hotel is folding people's clothes and making their beds while they're not in the room, which... Sure, it is pretty difficult to prove a ghost did that because that's what happens at every hotel when you leave the room, because that's what housekeepers do. But what would you rather her ghost powers be? Blowing up your room? Fucking up and just exploding the hotel? That wouldn't be a very fun ghost, would it? Yeah, this room is actually haunted by a creeper from Minecraft. If you hear hissing behind you, run. I'll be honest, at this point, I'm kind of worried I'm not even gonna get kissed by this cowboy ghost. And it's not just that. I also looked into the story about The Shining, and do you want to know what happened? What inspired this hotel's biggest claim to fame? On a cold winter night in the 1970s, Stephen King stayed in room 217 at the Stanley Hotel. It was the end of the tourist season at the hotel, so it was very empty, and while Stephen was sleeping, he had a nightmare that his son was being chased by a hose, and it was so scary that he wrote a whole ass book about it. That's right. As far as anyone knows, and as far as Stephen King has ever said, Stephen King saw 0 ghosts at the Stanley Hotel. 0 ghosts. You can book the room Stephen King stayed in, and it is booked for every Halloween for 7 years, because the hotel's booking system only goes 7 years into the future. And he never saw a ghost. Okay, but to be fair, just because Stephen King didn't see a ghost at the Stanley Hotel doesn't mean that there's nothing weird going on here, as I would find out when we got to talking to 2 tour guides at the hotel.
This is the 3rd, possibly the 4th haunted building I've worked at. This is definitely the most haunted place I've worked in town.
I think that there are far too many, far too close enough to sane people at the Stanley who have a ghost story.
When I started working here, I was thought, maybe I'll see a ghost, hear some weird noise, maybe once, twice a year. Some nights, Some nights it's an every night thing.
And we also got to go on a tour of all the most haunted spots in the hotel after hours, where we found out a lot of juicy details about this hotel. For one, there are a ton of pictures of ghosts that people have taken at the Stanley Hotel. And on this tour, they showed us a lot of them. And while some of them just look like it could have been like a camera glitch or like a blurry low-light photo where you can't really tell what's going on, when it's 1 a.m. and you're in the underground cave tunnels underneath a haunted hotel with two strangers you've never met, and one of them shows you a picture of a ghost girl hiding behind the carriage that you're standing right next to, scary. The scary.
I could edit something like that. And I've never edited before. Like a little bit, just on my phone. I could do that on my phone.
This ghost they told us about was a ghost named Dennis. They don't actually know the ghost name, but they call him that because he's a menace. And I wish I had a video of some of the pictures they showed us, but Dennis looks creepy as hell. In every picture, he's just a shadowy figure with glowing eyes. In one of the pictures, he was posing in the background like this. And they told us a story about how one of the staff members saw Dennis in like the staff quarters, and Dennis started chasing him, and all the doors were locked, so he had to run upstairs and jump out a window to get away from Dennis. Do you have any idea how badly I didn't want to wake up in my hotel room that night and see Dennis staring at me? I was at a solid 5 or 6 on my little spook meter. But that all went down to a negative 5 or 6 when they started telling us a story about when Zach Baggins was there filming for Ghost Adventures. A big part of the Ghost Adventures episode at the Stanley was the carriage house, because that's where the hotel stores all of the mattresses that people have died on.
There's objects in here where some actual death happened, where the bodies were discovered on these beds.
So they spent like a ton of time in the episode trying to contact the spirits.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
People who have died on these mattresses. Can you guess what the tour guide told us? Yeah, none of that's true. Yeah, the hotel doesn't store mattresses that people died on like they're saving them for something. Save it? What would they be saving them for?
That's so funny. We're an operating hotel, and believe it or not, we switch out mattresses every once in a while.
So Zach Baggins and his crew apparently just showed up and like looked through the window of the carriage house, saw mattresses, and were like, hey, let's go make some stuff up in there. The most interesting thing I took from the tour is that even though the tour guides know all of the spookiest things that have happened in the hotel, some of them don't 100% believe in ghosts. We were walking with one of the tour guides after he had showed us, I don't know, some of the most insane pictures of ghosts I've ever seen. And Jake asked him, like, so when did you start believing in ghosts? And he was like, oh, I don't know if I believe in that stuff. Huh? So wait, what was all that about Dennis then? You get to just tell me about Dennis and make me scared and then not believe in him yourself? How is that fair? Don't get me wrong though, a lot of the staff actually do believe in ghosts, so much so that some even claim to have personal relationships with the ghosts they interact with most often.
Last summer, 2021, Paul, our...
I remember I remember driving a drink with him, you know what I mean? Yeah, great time. We talked about, sports and all that. I just can't believe it. Can you believe it? Well, I was like, can you believe that? Like, I didn't believe it. Like,
I'm a very naturally skeptical person, so when I hear stories like this, my brain immediately jumps to like, let's think of all the reasons why this might not be true. So rest assured, that's all I've been doing since I got back from the hotel. But I have a hard time calling people liars and saying that their first-hand personal accounts aren't true. What I do know though is that while we were getting this tour, there were at least 1 or 2 other tour guides that were following us and trying to prank us the entire time by tapping on the windows of the rooms we were in with sticks.
Because I remember one day it was completely drained. Who's there?
I guess that's just kind of like a fun little thing they do there. A fun little hazing designed to, I don't know, make me poop, shit my pants. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of hazing, except for when there is. So I am kind of curious how many of the paranormal experiences the staff have had at this place that were just pranks that they never found out were pranks. With me to the Stanley Hotel, I brought pretty much every ghost hunting device I could get my grubby little hands on. So let's turn off the lights in this hotel room and get to work. I'll have this EMF running the whole time. An EMF measures electromagnetic frequencies, which are usually emitted by man-made sources like electrical wiring or ghosts. Is Is there anyone here right now? It's still at 0. Another popular ghost hunting tool is a tiny twist-on flashlight like this. Because some ghosts might not be super powerful and might not be able to move really heavy objects, if you twist one of these flashlights right to the point where it's about to turn off, it makes it a lot easier for a ghost to communicate by flickering the light. I gave any potential ghosts a little demonstration on how to twist the light, and I was about to start trying to communicate when the unthinkable happened. So if there's anyone here, let's maybe make... It was just a moth that flew in front of the camera light and Jake tried to swat at it. So the light flickered for a second. Don't let my nervous little smile and laugh fool you. I actually was scared right here. I guess having the only light in the room is kind of a, oh shit, you got it. Holy mackerel.
Fuck that guy.
Yet another ghost in the room tonight. Next up, the spirit box. A spirit box is basically just a little radio that rapidly cycles through radio stations. And ghosts can apparently use those radio stations to communicate with us. Okay, now I would like to ask again, is there anybody in this room aside from me and Jake? Yeah, we got a little something. I don't know what it said. Kind of sounded like, oh, you can do it. Very encouraging ghost. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Is there anybody that is maybe... Okay. That actually sounded... I said, is there anybody? And it kind of sounded like it might have said... There is somebody. I'll let you guys listen to it a couple times. Let me know what you think. That is maybe. Full disclosure, I actually am pretty weirded out by this. This is a pretty strange occurrence. It does sound a lot like there's somebody, and so I will give 1 point to the ghost for that one. That was pretty good, buddy. If you're a ghost, make no noise happen. Like, make it so no words are said. I also have a thermal camera to look for cold spots, which could be ghosts. Wait, what the fuck? I just turned it on and there's literally a cold spot right here. Actually, it feels wet. Oh, should I smell it? Okay, it kind of smells like it might be like a cleaner or something, I think. But it definitely is wet. Hey, Danny, it's future Danny here. Could you stop touching that? It's definitely pee. There was a small wet spot, and then a little trail, and then a big wet spot, like somebody started to have an accident, managed to control it for a second, and then hobbled 2 feet, and then just let it all out. Which leads to the scariest question of them all. Why did I put my face in that? Why was my first instinct when confronted with a wet spot in a hotel room to get my nose and lips as close to that baby as I could? I'm at home. It's been a week since I was at this hotel, and my spook meter is at a 10 out of 10. I think I was possessed by a piss goblin. Luckily, in the rest of the room, we didn't find any more piss. We also didn't find any ghosts, but at that point, I was more worried about the piss thing. Now, full disclosure, I've never, 100% liked the way that paranormal investigators go about, looking for spirits. Everybody goes in and, sits on the floor and is like, who's there? Can anyone say your name?
Who are you? What's your name? Did you pass away in one of those beds?
I think it's a little bit condescending. So I think if we're gonna find anything in this room, we're gonna have to get a little bit more drastic. Howdy, y'all. If there be any rootin' tootin' cowboys that like a good time, why don't you go ahead and flicker the flashlight? Is there any ghosts around me? Alright, well, I guess if you don't want to come out, I'm gonna have to keep all this gold myself. But the only thing coming from my vial of gold was a puddle of gold. So I guess my method of ghost hunting was a giant waste of time. And sure, I did get this sick picture out of it, but unless I ever make a half country, half hyper-pop album and I need cover art, it's pretty much useless.
Alright, good night. Tell the haberdasher I say hello. Farewell.
Okay, I am currently laying in bed, in the dark, in
this hotel room. This is the first time I've been like alone with all the lights off in this room. First off, let's do a bed review, dude. This bed? Very squishy. A lot squishier than I thought. So, should be a pretty cozy night if I can get to sleep. That being said, I'm not gonna lie, I am scared. It's honestly very frustrating to be scared right now.
I think in an attempt to avoid sitting in complete silence, I just started saying anything that was on my mind, which resulted in me performing what reads like some sort of paranoid ghost-themed stand-up set.
Why are people only scared of ghosts when it's dark? The fact that ghosts would only come out when it's dark, it like implies that ghosts only exist to scare living people. I don't subscribe to that. Why would that be?
Alright. Yeah, man. Sick. Whatever makes you feel less scared, dude. Ghosts don't just come out in the dark. They also come out in the daytime. So you should be scared right now, but you should also have been scared all day. Very clever.
Definitely having all of the pictures that they showed us on the tour, like replaying in my mind, is not going to help. So I really ought to stop doing that before I really try to get into it. So if my brain could just stop with that, and then we could proceed with the rest of the experience, that'd be great.
As I laid there, I could almost feel my brain wanting to play tricks on me. I was so like hyper aware of every shadow in the room, every sound that I heard, every feeling in my body, and it took me a solid like 30 minutes to calm myself down enough to try to go to sleep.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna try to go to bed. Good night.
Did it, baby. That's right. I slept in a haunted room in the most haunted hotel for 5 hours. And I slept like a rock, dude. There could have been a haberdasher twerking on my bed all night, and I would not have woken up. Luckily, it does look like nothing paranormal happened that night, because I would have been pretty pissed if I missed that. So, look, I can't tell you if there for sure are or aren't ghosts in the Stanley Hotel, but what I can tell you is that you're definitely not guaranteed a paranormal experience. What I can bet, though, is that it's still probably going to be pretty scary. Even if you don't believe in ghosts, it's like turbulence on an airplane. I don't actually think the plane is going to crash, but when it's happening, I am clutching my armrest. Speaking of which, I think I got to catch my flight back home.
Alright, well, y'all have a good one. I mean, that's it of the video. Hope y'all enjoy. Go to his dude is there. But go to Danny Gonzalez channel, subscribe, and subscribe to me. This is gonna help me out. You know, I'll be able to do bigger things. Maybe I'll be able to dance with somebody famous. I don't know. Hey, help me out. If anybody watching this, please like and subscribe, and thank you. Now, to the next video. Yo, comment, like, and subscribe for the next video.